I want to talk to you about Navy Federal $10 million business line of credit for new LLC business. Okay, this is important. And so the business line of credit, you have a amount that goes from 35 grand to $10 million. That's the maximum. And if you are a new LLC business, you can still get this business line of credit. And I want to really explain everything to you. Don't you go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sorty Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, let's talk about the $10 million business line of credit for new LLC business, okay? One thing I need to understand is that Navy Federal business line of credit approves amounts ranging from $35,000 to $10 million. First, you want to familiarize yourself with this baby, okay? So here are the steps, okay? First, you want to understand. That's important. So what are we talking about? Business line of credit. You can use the revolving line of credit for operational purposes. I'm talking about cash flow, payroll, operating expenses, working capital, and whatnot. Okay, what we love is that they have flexibility in terms of how you can use the funds. They're not just standing but behind you and asking you to prove to a level of to a granular level what you're going to use the money for. No, they're pretty good. The only thing is you need to remember is that for a business line of credit from Navy Fed, you got to collateralize it. You need to secure it. It's important, okay? And the term length can match your borrower needs. So in other words, if you need the business line of credit open for, let's say, 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, Navy Federal will work with you, okay? And this is not a problem. And the thing here, what we love also is that they can actually approve, in some cases, at new LLC businesses. So this line of credit is overall great for bridging cash flow gaps, business growth, unexpected expenses, other operational purposes, okay? And besides the Navy Federal business line of credit, they also have a checking line of credit. In other words, if you are a new LLC business or you are an established business, you can qualify for this checking line of credit. And here, the assigned limits are $500, $1,000, or $5,000. And the APR here goes from, the APR is 17.90, okay? And so there's a $50 annual fee. You just need to know that. But this checking line of credit is better for overdraft protection of business checking accounts, okay? But in this show, I'm going to talk to you specifically about the business line of credit, not the checking line of credit, okay? Let me talk to you about how to get qualified. It's really important to understand. So Navy Fed's business line of credit generally caters to established businesses. I'm talking about at least 2 years of operation. But as a new LLC business, you can qualify if you meet some specific conditions. And this is really important, okay? First of all, you need to have a personal Navy membership of 5 years at least. So if you are a new LLC business and you want to qualify for this business line of credit, you need to be with the Navy Fed on an individual basis for 5 years at least. They want to see your ass around and be clear that, hey, listen, you have been financially responsible with your cash with them and you have put a lot of cash with them. So they will probably approve you. Your personal FICO must be at least 600, okay? Your Navy Federal internal score must be at least 300. So I'm just giving you a few tips here and there so you have a clear idea of what you need to qualify for this business line of credit as a new LLC business, okay? And they love if you have prior success in a similar capacity or in a related sector. So they love that. In other words, if you start in a business right now and if you start an LLC, they will love it if you have done something similar in the past, successfully, of course, or even unsuccessfully. I mean, experience is can be a pain in the ass, but hey, listen, at least you have the experience, okay? If you feel that something, at least you learn something, okay? And you want to have a reasonably strong NPR with Navy Fed. We're speaking about what? A diversity of accounts. We're speaking about checking accounts. We are speaking about savings accounts. We're speaking about IRAs, MMAs, CDs, and whatnot. Okay, so when we talk about a strong multi-product relationship, we're talking about quantity, but also quality. So quality being the diversity of accounts that we're talking about, and quantity, I'm talking about the cash you are parking at Navy Fed. So here is the approach. Here is the approach, the systematic approach you want to follow. You want to make sure that you have a personal Navy Fed membership that extends beyond 5 years. Your FICO score is 600 minimum. Your Navy Fed internal score 300. Okay, Navy Fed doesn't publish internal scores all the time, but if you apply for a loan and you have been unsuccessful, or a credit card for that matter, they will let you know your Navy Fed internal score. Okay. I want to talk to you about collateralizing. So, boss, I'm still having a conversation with you about how to actually apply successfully for the Navy Federal $10 million business line of credit if you are a new LLC business. The first thing I said was you want to understand why. Second, you want to get qualified. So what's third? Collateralize. So if your new LLC business qualifies for the Navy Fed's business line of credit, you will need to personally collateralize it. Or if the business does have assets, you want to use the business assets to collateralize the line of credit. So we're talking here about personal guarantee. Okay, I want you to be clear. Don't you walk out of here, just finish this video without understanding your implications, your legal risk. We're talking about personal guarantee. In other words, your ass is on the line. You are really. So you are involved in this. So know the responsibilities. Okay, Navy Federal always wants their business line of credit to be collateralized unless you have done the things using EIN only, and you have taken the right procedures to make sure that you don't have this sort of legal risk. Okay, so when we talk about collateral, what can be used as collateral for a personal or a business loan? It really depends. So for all of you newbies out there, when we talk about collateral, we're speaking about an asset. This is just simply an asset, such as a car or home, that you as a borrower offers up. You offer up as a way to qualify for a particular loan or line of credit. It could be business related or personal related. Okay, so here are some types of collateral you can use. We're talking about cash in a savings account, cash in a certificate of deposit account, car, boat, home, stocks, and whatnot. Talk about bonds, insurance policy, jewelry in some cases, fine arts. If you have some bling bling going on, you can actually pledge. You can collateralize the business line of credit with that bling bling. If indeed it is real bling bling and not fake ass bling bling. Okay, so we're talking about collectibles, precious metals, future paychecks, and so in some cases. So it's important to understand that. So big decision time. Boss, I want to talk to you. Do you currently have some assets you need to pledge for your Navy Fed's $10 million business line of credit? I mean, the amount doesn't have to be $10 million, but what I'm trying to say, whether it is 10 grand or 25 grand or whatnot, you need to have some assets you can use to collateralize the line of credit. Okay, and we're talking about as a new LLC business, those assets must be coming from you personally. The fourth thing I want you to pay attention to, boss, is getting legit. You know, I'm kind of tired of people walking around the neighborhood telling everybody, hey, I'm a new CEO. I own an LLC business. And in reality, you just realize that it's just, it's just full of S, honestly, because the foundation of the business is nuts. There's no foundation. What's up with that? So, boss, if you listen to me, if you are serious about getting a Navy Federal $10 million business line of credit, again, 10 million here, this is the maximum. But if you're really serious about this, you want to get legit. I'm talking to you about getting an EIN. We're speaking about an employer identification number. You get that number from the IRS, okay? And it's nothing really complicated. It takes about 10 minutes pop maximum here. You want to pay attention to your legal structure. Obviously, you are an LLC, but make sure you are a legit LLC, okay? In other words, you have articles of organization, you have an operating agreement. If you have more than 2 members in your LLC, you got to have an operating agreement, okay? That's going to dictate how the firm will be operated. This is important, so you can actually specify things such as how would the profits be distributed, how would the expenses be distributed, the losses and all that kind of stuff, okay? And you got to have a certificate of good standing, boss. Cause brother, father, sister, son, I'm talking to you about a certificate of good standing. Don't you underestimate that. A lot of folks just walk around, I have an LLC, okay? I have a business bank account. I'm bowling. I'm making bang. You're making bang, but your business doesn't have a certificate of good standing. So what's going to happen is when you are ready to apply for a business loan or a business line of credit, your ass will be rejected because Navy Fed or another lender for that matter will realize, hey, listen, this person does not comply with with state rules, because having a certificate of good standing is a state affair. It's not a federal affair, okay? So make sure that you have a certificate of good standing, and you want to take care of your business plan. You want to have your business bank account. You want to set up your accounting. You can actually hire someone to take care of your accounting, or you can outsource the whole thing to a business that does that, or you can just use accounting software. I'm talking about QuickBooks, pretty easy. We're talking about Xero. We're talking about Wave. We're talking about Expensify. There are a lot of software tools out there, okay? And so let me give you a few pro tips. If you want to boost your chances of getting this Navy Federal line of credit, business line of credit, as a new LLC business, make sure that you are organized. Make sure that you explain to Navy Fed that you are indeed organized. That means what? Means showing them all the paperwork, your legal structure, your operating agreements, your business plan, your financial statements, your bank statements, and all that kind of stuff. The next step you need to do here is to justify. Oh yeah. You want to justify the use of loan proceeds. Okay? Father, mother, I'm talking to you now. If you are at a place where you have your new LLC and you just think about, hey, listen, what's my next move? Well, your next move is you need to actually explain to Navy Fed how you're going to use the cash, okay? Now, obviously, you can benefit from a business line of credit on a lot of reasons, on a lot of criteria. In other words, you can use the cash to hire new employees to meet a growing demand for your services. Let's say you just start your LLC business and business is booming. You're just making some serious cash, but you need to grow. A business line of credit from Navy Fed or another lender can be really, really great. You can use the cash to purchase a new piece of equipment. You can open a new office or expand to several new locations. You probably now are somewhere where you start working from home, and at some point you got to get out of the house and get a legit office space or office. You got to have some workplace. Okay, you can use the cash also to purchase extra inventory to get ready for a busy holiday season. So holiday seasons are pretty cool, especially if you are in an industry where seasonality and cyclicality play an important role. So you got to be ready, right? You got to have the liquidity needed to actually take care of the demand during that high season. One thing I want to say here is that when we talk about a business line of credit from Navy Fed, if you're a new LLC, the bottom line is you want to have liquidity, okay? Because as a startup, you're going to have some ups and downs, some ebbs and flows in terms of your liquidity. Unless you are really, your net worth is really high, you're going to have some problems, okay? So be aware of those, and be aware that there are actually some pros and cons for a business line of credit in general. Here are the pros. You have flexible access to money. You have interest only on the portion of credit that you use, or sort of. You have a lender-borrower relationship, a tighter one. You have better business credit rating in terms of later on if a Navy Fed reports your transactional data to business credit bureaus, okay, and lower interest and lower fees than other popular options usually. The cons is that fees can add up, and this could actually create a situation where you have too much debt. The application process can be complicated also. So decision here. I want to ask you, what is the process you have put in place to justify the use of loan proceeds? Okay, have you documented those processes or that process? Okay, what are you going to use the money for? How much do you need? When are you going to spend it? Okay, and why do you want to spend that? So you need to really document everything before you even think about applying for this Navy Federal $10 million business line of credit. I'll be right back. Right after this, don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sorty Kiwi Show. I'm still having a conversation with you about Navy Federal $10 million business line of credit, okay? And here I want you to anticipate. That's the next step here. You want to think about Navy Federal lending options in case you get denied for the business line of credit or in case you want to explore other options. Oh, yeah. Because the thing here is that originally you might be interested in checking the business line of credit, but what happens if you change your mind? Maybe you want to apply for something else. Well, I got you, boss. The cool thing here is that Navy Fed has other business loans, okay, that could be good for you depending on the industry you're in or your particular needs, okay? So they have real estate loans and term loans, okay? So for real estate loans, so we're talking here about a commercial real estate loan, a CRE, right? A CRE loan. So you can get a lot of cash here as a new LLC business, and it's a lot easier because the collateral is the property. So you don't have to provide personal collateral here, okay? And it's great for purchases, refinancing, or renovation. You have fixed and variable rate options available. You have a standard 5-year term, 20-year amortization, no prepayment penalty, but there are some fees that apply. So this is great for commercial real estate, classified as either owner-occupied or investment property. You have residential investment property, mixed-use property, property renovation. So the constellation of uses is great, okay? So that's for real estate loans. We also have business term loans. So let's say if you are looking to strengthen or expand your operations, this could be a great loan for you. So this loan is available for purchases and refinancing. There is no prepayment penalty. So you have an LTV, loan to value, up to 75%, depending on the type of equipment. If you want to finance some kind of equipment, okay, you have $150 origination. A lien search and recording fees may apply and vary by state. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is that when it comes to term loans, you can get a regular business term loan or a collateralized business term loan. So you can use the cash to finance equipment, for example. Okay, so we're talking about commercial equipment, computer equipment, leasehold improvements, expansion. Okay, so here are some few pro tips. When you want to anticipate, make sure that you always have options. Okay, obviously you want to get into the Navy Fed business line of credit, which is really good, but what if they denied your ass? So you need to have a backup plan. Would you apply with Navy Fed or apply with the other institution? Okay, you always have to think about that because Navy Fed might be great, but they're not the only lending institutions out. They're not the only lending institution out there. Okay, they're really one out of many. The last thing you want to do here is to actually apply. Okay, so when we talk about the business line of credit from Navy Fed, there are some specific documents you need to have before you actually get approved. Obviously, we have said on this show time and again, it's always better to apply at a branch. However, if you cannot apply at a branch because of vicinity to a Navy Fed branch or because you just love to do things online, okay, go ahead and do it. But it's just a lot better to apply at a branch, or especially when you're looking at 6 digits minimum. If you're looking for a large amount and you are a new LLC business, you really need to sit down with a rep and have a conversation. So they want you to have a completed and signed business loan application We have they want you to have your business tax returns under existing ownership. They want to have the most recent 2 years. But if you are a new LLC business, you don't have those, right? So you need to actually say that. You can say this to the rep and say, listen, I don't meet this particular requirements. Okay, a business plan may be required. Actually, they said maybe, but in our experience working with clients and for our own business, they always require a business plan. Always. It is mandatory. And personal tax returns for all owners, guarantors, most recent 2 years, financial statements. Okay, we're talking about balance sheet, profit and loss, accounts receivable, accounts payable, agent reports, your debt schedule. If you are a new LLC, you don't have actual data. So you can have projected data. Okay, forecasted data. So you can have this for 1 year or 2 years. And a personal financial statement for all owners and guarantors. So Navy Fed wants to clearly have a window into your personal affairs, okay, to be really sure that you're clean, personally speaking. You got to show proof of collateral. This is important. Additional documentation may be required. This is what this depends on the line of credit, okay, and the state you're applying from. A personal guarantee, so there has to be a statement that you are guaranteeing the business line of credit, and they will be doing a personal credit check also. So the approach here is what, boss? The approach is very simple. The approach is to have together all the required paperwork, okay, to fill out the loan application, to contact a rep, discuss the loan application and the documentation with the rep, and then submit your application. So this is actually the best way to apply. Thank you so much for your attention to this conversation. I was talking to you about the Navy Federal $10 million business line of credit, okay? And how do you get it if you're a new LLC business? So first, you want to understand what we're talking about in terms of business line of credit. You want to get qualified. You want to collateralize this line of credit. You want to get legit, okay? You want to really also justify the use of loan proceeds. You want to anticipate things and have a backup plan just in case. And last but not the least, you want to apply. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate having you. I always appreciate my viewers, and I will see you next time. But until then, get marvelous.